Alright guys, so we are going to jump into the shit you guys summon. So this time around we are taking a look at the green generic Alex Gundam. So I did happen to pull this unit off the free ticket, so tomorrow we can go into a little bit more of a extensive testing for this unit, so do stay tuned for that. But this is going to drop prior to me testing things out, so it's pretty much just going to be me talking about my experience in using this unit and then talk about, is this a unit that you guys really need, given the fact that we do already have things that are, a little bit more similar to what this unit is doing. So on the JP Wiki, if you guys are looking at this unit, it's pretty decent because it is at a rated at 8 points. So given how advanced JP is, that's obviously a good thing. So you might consider, well, this is actually maybe a unit that I should summon on because of the rating. But I will definitely say this is a unit in this caliber we have, received few in this role already. So I'm just gonna start talking about some like we already have, like from SRs. We have gotten them for free as an kind of like an event unit in a way. So I'm just gonna show you guys those two images. So they are in a way similar to what this unit is doing, because primarily speaking, if you guys are like a budget player, for example, you don't have a lot of resources, pulling one copy is kind of like is kind of where the majority of your diamonds going to be spending. One copy of the unit, and that's kind of it, and maybe summoning for the pilot. So if you guys are not maxing out immediately, for example, like trying to get that free transcendent skill, if you pull multiple copies or whatever, even if you do want to go into the transcendent skill route, I don't think it's that worth it for the unit specifically, depending on what kind of box you guys have. But this unit, essentially, like the biggest portion of what this unit is doing is debuffing the enemies. So we have things like Fanex, we have things like, I don't know, the standard GPO4. That one actually debuffs for beams first, and then on the transcendent skill it also provides for projectiles. So since we do already have things that are a little bit more better outright, like Phoenix is obviously a lot more better, it is definitely in line to be specifically a support type character. Is meant to be doing that. So this unit is, I wouldn't want to say it's the same as GPO4 in a way, but this one in a way it is a little bit more lenient because you have all the debuffing on the EX skill already, while GPO4 has one on the EX skill and has another one hidden beneath the transcendent skill, so making that one a little bit more of like a expensive investment in a way, while this one you put one copy and you're good. All right. But my biggest complaint about this unit, given the fact that it relies on popping EXQ, there's nothing within the unit that allows you to gain EXQ gauge recovery until you pull the pilot. So it's not a one package and you're good to go. It's kind of like a 2-in-1 package to make this unit performs good. So I feel like by the time you're popping the EXQ, for example, it's gonna take you a good minute if you don't have Christina, Mackenzie. So that's why I feel like this unit is not that worth it for a majority of the player base, given the fact that they probably should have some other debuffer, not even mentioning like, let's say, Bark 2 for example, or even Borg Zealous. So those are things that I did not mention because those are a little bit more lower in the tier. But essentially we have things that are better, or we have things that are in line with this one, or if not better. So I'm just like, if that's the case, why bother summoning? You know what I mean? But looking at skill 1, we have a really poor 18%. That's kind of it. So yeah, 18% really isn't cutting it if you are not considering the transcendent skill. And then on skill 2, it unlocks the strong attack beam rifle and then gives you an extra 14% accuracy. So that's fairly decent in a way. In transcendent skill, we'll kind of talk about that in just a little bit. So the weaponry is pretty much going to be consist of the beam rifle, beam saber, which being not really going to be something that you will use that often. So it's decent 3-hit one time. So okay, it's pretty decent, I guess, in a way, right? But in terms of the usage for this unit, I feel like it can definitely be, I don't know how decent this unit could be in arena specifically. I feel like if this is kind of fulfilling the same role as GPO4. I think GPO4 was definitely a unit I initially slapped on a lot, because I was thinking that unit is more geared towards this PvE content. But as the arena meta just continuously to ship, for example, GPO4 has been in a lot of main staple for people. And in terms of design wise, I see this unit a little bit more similar. If you are heavily invested into the arena meta, for example, this unit could be strong, because in Transcendent skill wise, you're getting an extra bonus 36% beam damage, and then on top of that, for the first 60 seconds, you're getting up to another 54%. So majority of the time, like for arena wise, the first 30 seconds is the most crucial. At that point in time, you're done. So this unit could fall within that line and be like, this unit could be good, given how similar. But it's definitely something that needs more testing and needs to be maxed out to replicate. And obviously, it's not something I could be doing, because I don't really have all the unit in the game, so it's definitely not something I can just do right now. But I think for mock battle, I probably could do that. Maybe I can ask someone to set like a really decked out team that I can try it out. You can definitely do that. But yeah, I feel like this unit could be decent in arena as well, but it's definitely something that I need to go in more extensively. It's not something I can just say, oh yeah, it's bad or it's good just right now. But in terms of general content, this unit is good for the debuffing purposes. Like, I feel like this unit could be decent for sure, and this unit could also not only be a good debuffer, and could be a unit that's offering a decent amount of damage as well. So if you are if you are afraid your support type character only buffs but they're not contributing on damage portion wise, I feel like this unit can kind of satisfy both roles at the same time. So overall it's decent, but like I said again, if you guys do have the following option that I have mentioned already, there's no point of going for this, because you don't always need a lot of debuffer, you don't always need a lot of buffer. You need kind of like in the middle ground. You need a mix of good high damage dealer, and you need a mix of buffer and debuffer. So if you have some already, then don't go for this unit. But what I would say to go for is probably the pilot. So Christina Mackenzie, she is another one of those, it's going to be like a long-term investment pilot in a way. So first of all, for skill 1, you have green and generic. So those are definitely something that you can obviously work off from future green and generic. So for range sense specifically, up to 74%. So that's actually, or 76, excuse me, that's actually pretty good. And moving to skill 2, the biggest thing that we are looking at is probably the EFF affiliated, but I think for EFF affiliated is not, I want to say it's not as common. Hold up. Yes, is it not? Hold up. I'm going to check something real quick. Alright, so I checked the tag for EFF affiliated, so the Earth Federation. So that tag, I just want to be sure. So that tag is probably going to be one of the more extensive tag out there, because it's probably just all going to be all the Freddy's units. So yeah, this unit is going to be another long investment because of this right here. So it's going to be another one that stacks up to 120%. This is going to be a long-term one. So the other one could be a little bit more niche, maybe for the first 60 seconds, for the first 30 seconds. So those are obviously not as top tier, but dude, like getting up to another 120% by dealing damage, like this is golden. All right, and the other thing is the successor unit is not the most common tag out there, but if you guys are able to run this unit on any successor unit, for example, you get your EXQ gauge recovery up by 18%. It's not the biggest percentage, but it could help ever so slightly. So I think for Mackenzie, for Christina Mackenzie, I think she's definitely a very good investment. So once again, the pilot are definitely, you guys can definitely see the trend that, later on pilot are really decent because of what they're offering, while the unit, they're just kind of whatever. They're not as long-term investment, right? Like these right here, they're really not. So that's what I'll definitely say for Alex. It's kind of like a hit or miss. If you have good debuffer and support ready, this is definitely not a go-to. You know, it's kind of like a redundant, if you will. So that's why I'll definitely do skip on it if you guys do have better options or equivalent option. And with that said, that's gonna be pretty much it for me. And then tomorrow we will be, you know, obviously doing the showcase and whatnot of how, this unit performs and all that. But other than that, I'll be catching you guys up on the next one.